I saw in your photography that you have passed from mentally disabled people, coal miners, and farmers, and also Jews.
Yes.
Why the Jews? It is like
It's the subjects are completely different, but it's all about human beings. It's all about people who are in a situation of where I don't know the English word is Verwerfungen. It's if there's something, a break in the biography, or which has to do something with their self-understanding about their biographies, about their daily life. So my first interest is the human being, daily life, and the Jewish subject is something which came to me by birth, if you say it like this. I'm German, so I grew up in the, as I often say, to explain, it's maybe I talk in pictures. So I grew up in the shadow of the Shoah. And when I was a young man, when I had these informations about what was going on 50 years before, so I felt ashamed to speak my own language when I made my first travels. I was ashamed to be a German. And when there was one very important thing for me was the series in German TV, 1978-79, which is Holocausto, an American series, which was shown in German TV station. And the reaction of the German public was quite shocking for me, because they felt they weren't able to take the responsibility. And I don't mean the personal responsibility. There were many of people surely with personal responsibility as guards, as whatever, you know. No, it is some kind of social responsibility. So they felt that there was always a pressure for, something to say. They said we didn't know. So this is a lie. Surely they know. If the neighbors disappear, if the pupil in school disappear, the Reichskristallnacht. How can somebody in Germany say I didn't know? With this, when the people were wearing a yellow star. So this was a lie. And it was not so much to take personal responsibility, but as a society to say. And so this was for me something which I really couldn't understand as a growing up, 17, 18, 19 years. Myself, I grew up the first 5 years in South Wales. My father was a German who worked very shortly after the Second World War abroad. So he was for 12 years more or less a migrant. And from his perspective, he was a soldier in North Africa. And this is the absolutely first time I tell it now. There was a demonstration of the Jewish community in front of the house of my father, 1955, because the Germans were moving into that house in South Wales in Great Britain. So
the community was...
They don't wanted to have Germans there. And my father was very British. He became very British, and I always had the feeling that everybody said he was Sir. And I think he became very British to come over his German in abroad. So this experience, maybe I had this, there was something in me which I tried to figure out what was this person, from my father, and then this German society in the 50s, 60s, 70s years. This is a long story. I became interested. And the other thing is, I learned in school about the Holocaust, sure. I learned in school about the Nazi regime, about Hitler, and all about his terrible things were happening. But I never learned something about Judaism, about the religion. So my interest was not to walk in this path of Holocaust. For me was, what is daily life for Jewish people in Germany? So they also live with a history of the Holocaust in Germany, which is different than from their understanding. And that was my interest, to really to look, how do Jewish people live in Germany, and not in the context only of Holocaust, in the context of daily life. If you see the guards and the security, you are confronted by yourself with anti-Semitism. Why is it necessarily to have a guard or a police line, or no parking in front of synagogues, in front of community buildings? So you see it it's something you are confronted with it just if you walk into a synagogue or in a Jewish in a building of a Jewish community. So it is also, they are living under this pressure. And but for me it's also celebrating. It is the religious, but not only the religious, it's also Hanukkah and the parties and the dancing and the school. And so that was my first goal. And then in this time when I started, there was the change in the Jewish communities by the migration of hundreds, thousands of Jewish people from the former USSR into communities where sometimes only 5 or 6 people were left, old people. So it was also a chance for new Jewish life in Germany. Most of them wanted to go to Berlin or to the big communities, Berlin, Frankfurt, Munich. But many communities just survived by the new members which knew nothing about Judaism, like me. So many of them came to Germany, and one father told me the word kosher. It's the first time I heard the word kosher in Berlin. He never heard the word kosher. So his Jewish background was gone completely. He knew nothing about Judaism, about the religion, about the traditions, about the days, about all this, nothing. So
it's like a diaspora in a diaspora.
Yes, it's like a diaspora in the diaspora, you know. They refused to their Judaism because many changed their names in the former USSR. Because they, for reasons, for their professions, I knew actors, they say, I could never make a career with a Jewish name in USSR. Or doctors who changed name to make their career. So that was, I really stepped into that time when this change, intern change of the Jewish communities, and that was very, very interesting. which also brought many problems for the integration of Jewish people which are Jewish, but without Jewish background. So just by their passport, where in the USSR they had this White Russian, Ukrainian, Kazakhstan, Jewish. So in your passport was standing you're a Jew. So many refused in public to be a Jew, just to get I'm Russian, or I'm White Russian, or I'm Ukraine. So that was very interesting, and I entered. They were very open. I'm a goy, I'm the goy photographer. So, and it was very open-minded people and very interesting biographies. But it is like in every community, you have the bad guys and you have the good guys, or you have the good guys and you have the bad guys. So it is. It was very rich for me, and it took me 20 years